Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us tonight. As well as there being 3 Mr. Kings, there are 2 Steve Kings on the staff. The other one is an Indian at the moment. He's the ICT and computing teacher. My job in school is as head of Key Stage 4 in years 10 and 11. I'm in regular contact with parents on a daily basis, and the question I'm normally asked is about homework, frequency of homework, types of homework, and the like. I must apologise first of all, because we're probably the source of most of your arguments at home. I know it's a very controversial subject, and boys tend to like to do other things when they get home. We appreciate that, but hopefully the next 10 minutes will show you how valuable homework can be. But I'll also be telling you what I've done so far in my journey towards a school homework policy. I've asked students for feedback. Students in year 7, 8, 9 and 12. There have been over 80 students surveyed. They've been asked a whole range of things. Why they think they get homework, how homework is given to them, what kinds of homework are given, and what kinds of homework they are enthusiastic about and which kinds of homework they're not enthusiastic about, and the frequency of that homework. And I've had some very interesting responses. I've also had feedback from teachers, what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And I've had a couple of snippets of information from parents who have volunteered that information. Tonight's the first opportunity for you to make comment, either after or later on perhaps over email. I will be making start on a homework policy, an early stage homework policy over the summer, and I wanted to include the views of students, include the views of teachers, but also parents. The first thing I did with regards to this homework policy was look online at the schools. A lot of schools have their policies on their websites, and I gathered about a dozen, and it became quickly clear that a lot of schools just pay lip service to the subject. Many of the policies were cut and pasted and copied, and there were 2 policies from schools 200 miles apart that were word for word. And they really do have little meaning. So I want our homework policy to reflect all interested parties' views. Professor John Hattie, the gentleman that was referred to earlier, he shows that homework is very significant if it's done well, and it does have an effect size of 0.43, which is just under a GCSE grade. So it does mean the difference between a B and an A grade. Students don't like it, I found out. The general feedback was that let's ban homework because we don't really see the point in it. However, most of them were consistent in that they backed it up with positive comments about homework. They shot themselves right in the foot. They do value homework, but it comes with condition. The teacher must assess homework and must provide feedback. And when that doesn't happen, the boys really don't value it. They like it if it's linked to their current work or future work. They don't like looking behind them. They like looking forwards, and that's a good thing. Something that should be encouraged. And they enjoy preparing for debate and discussion. However, a large proportion of the group that we surveyed said that it causes them worry and stress. And it might only be specific types of homework that cause worry and stress, but the fact that nearly half of them said it causes them worry and stress is a problem for us, and it's something that we need to address. They don't like worksheets, neither do I. They commented that homework invades their extracurricular time and family time, and they have to replace it with homework time. And they don't like homework that's issued to them and is expected in the day after, and I can fully appreciate the reasons why. When I asked the teachers, they weren't just as consistent as the boys. It is a very controversial and divisive subject. The large, significant study that Mr. King referred to earlier, the John Hattie study, is overwhelming. There are studies out there, much smaller studies, that actually do say that there is very little value in homework. But those must be the ones that aren't done very well, surely. Teachers do value homework. All the teachers that I've spoken to formally and informally agree that they do value it, and they do invest a significant amount of time in it, preparing it as well as marking it. Staff feel that there are inconsistencies across the school, but even in own departments. Some staff believe that they do things very differently to their colleagues, and we have to probably go along with the fact that that might be good in some cases, but it also might be preventative from the boys progressing if one teacher does something very, very differently from another teacher. Teachers like the flexibility of the way that we deliver homework, but they would appreciate some guidance. Teachers don't like rigid homework timetables. They don't like to think that they know when they're giving homework throughout the week. They feel, and I agree with them, that leads to teachers setting homework which is sometimes meaningless. If the teacher feels obliged to set something, it might not actually have any relevance to what the boy wants to do. So there has to be a degree of flexibility. The teachers that I spoke to in the formal meeting all said that they would encourage some kind of scrutiny of homework from either subject leaders or members of the senior leadership team. Okay, it's over to you. I need to know what you think. Not now in an open forum, but beyond this evening, in the chat afterwards or via email. I'd like to know what you think, and please, if you have something critical to say, please say it. Your consumer rights are not affected. It won't be held against you. We need to know what you feel. We do have a group of nearly 60 parents here tonight, and if we think that there are 800 boys in school, that is a really valid group of people. What do we do well, and what could we do better? That's my email address. It's also on the notes that you were given on the way in, and I'd appreciate it if you could spend a few minutes maybe even discussing with your child at home before you do it, maybe not. Just contacting me to try to feed into what I'm about to do over the summer holidays. Hopefully by September or maybe early October I'll have something in first draft to present to a few people. If anybody's interested in looking at that when the time comes, please communicate that over email as well. Thank you for your time.